year out since our first press conference. I feel we've made great progress over the year. Some of these fellas at the table here, this time last year only made the debut. You look at Matthew, who made his debut here last November. 11 months later, he's aiming to go 7-0 fight for the Irish club, become #1 in the country. Massive in 1 year. His opponent, Senan, signed for us last year, frustrated, and said he wants big fights. And he's had 3 fights this year, and he's already picked up the Celtic title. And he also aims to pick up that Irish title this year before he plans on kicking on to bigger and better things. Headlining his hometown. We have a number of fighters on the table who signed throughout the year, and we at JB Promotion really appreciate the lads who can trust in us to lead their careers, and some of them as well have progressed massively along the way. I'm going to start by introducing fighters one by one. First, I'll introduce Jason Harty. Jason fights for the first time in 2 years, looks to make up for lost time against a tough battler, Pirani, who was seen up in Belfast against Keating last month and put in a great performance. Jason, welcome to JB Promotions press conference. How are you feeling about kickstarting your career?
I'm feeling good. Good to be back in action. First fighting over 2.5 years. It's starting to be.
Tough opponent. Have you watched much of him?
Yeah, it's tough. That's what I last
Jonathan Hernandez said to me, I don't know when it's going to fall on the floor. We don't do that. I think it's been testament to the matchmaking throughout the year. We don't bring in opponents that will just jump on the floor because we feel that it's hard enough to sell tickets. It really is, and to sell tickets to your opponents, to all travel to come here for you to get into the fella slapping the balls on the floor. You'll quickly run out of ticket wears, that kind of thing. So Jonathan said, get your tough opponents. We put this opponent to him, he agreed straight away. So that's a testament to yourself as well, where you want to go in the sport.
Yeah, it's a good opponent, but we've already come to fight it, so we need.
What's the plan after this, Jason?
We're fighting up just tomorrow. We're fighting the 18th month, fighting the stadium, fighting the river last so.
Cool, very good. Good to see you again, busy. Thanks for that, Jason. Any questions to Jason? Or we'll just keep your questions to the end? Yeah, okay. David Kennedy will be making his debut on Friday as well, coming up from Wexford. He's a massive crowd coming from Wexford. He just had other engagements today, so he couldn't make it up. So we'll just move on. I just want to give a mention. Oisin Treacy is back after 6 months, just clashes of shows and holidays and things like that. Just kept Oisin out of the last couple of events, so we're delighted to have him back. I think he's made good progression so far in his career. Again, we haven't picked an easy opponent for him. So Oisin, how's camp going for you? How does it feel to be back?
Camp's going good, yeah. Feeling fit, strong. Great to be back. As I said, we still got a couple of shows, just still clashing with that, but very good back there.
Tough opponent. Have you watched him, Jose?
We watched bits of him there, losing on 4, but losing 3. But whatever you can bring off the other line, we're ready for.
And of course, you made your debut on our inaugural show last November. You're stepping up the 6th round, so that can show again your progression over the last 10 or 11 months.
Yeah, that's it. That's the plan, as Jay said. I want to go forward, move up the 6th, and everything's going where I've been working on at the start.
That's good to hear. Thanks, Oisin. Next up is Glenn Moore. Glenn being let down over the last week or two with a couple of opponents. We had planned on a big step up for Glenn. A guy that was 10 for 2, 6 or 7 knockouts, and he had issues he couldn't get here. Then we had another guy that was 4-0 and only on the 11th hour. It looked like he wasn't going to come. In the end, he would have made it, but we couldn't take it down. So we picked John Henry Mosquera, really talented guy. Yes, he's an opponent. You know, he boxes in the away corner. He actually has a good win on his record. If anyone was watching the boxing last week, Maxi Hughes' fight, he beat the guy that beat Maxi last Friday. Maxi, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinions, was losing the fight going into the last round, and he needed a knockout, which he got and won the fight. So, again, Glenn, how's the camp going for you? How are you feeling? You had a good performance here last time out, so how's everything going?
Yeah, camp's going well for me. I feel like the progress I make I can each time. Training's getting harder. I'm learning more and more. I'm getting more used to the way things are going. Being more clever in camps.
some of our results before. What are we expecting in this camp? What is the plan for this fight? What should we be looking for this fight?
Yeah, so last November I would have thought that I would have been down 4 fights inside the year, but it stood to me massively. It's kept me in the gym for the whole year. As I said, you're my coach, I work with you, I work with Coach Matthew, each of you are helping me. I was happy with the performance against Ratty. I thought I done well. I thought I showed that I can box, and I'm hoping that Friday's the exact same, maybe more clever, take more time, put more shots together, work on things we've worked on over the last 10 weeks or so. I'm hoping on a better performance than the one against Ratty. I'm hoping that every fight I do show signs that I'm getting better and better.
And next, we move on to Paul Loonam. Paul, just like Glenn, has had a number of pullouts over the last week. At one point, it looked like we may have to sit this one out, which was totally going against me. I must have spent 72 hours stuck around the clock trying to find an opponent. In the end, we were like the buses, we got 2 come at once. So, Paul, I know you had a bit of frustration the last couple of days, but I did say from the get-go that we will fight. How are you feeling? I know camp has gone exceptional. I was down there, I watched some of your camp. We've been talking regularly in the hall. How is everything going? How are you feeling? How was the first 6 months of Pro Life gone?
Yeah, first 6 months of Pro Life has been brilliant. Training in the Unit 3. We've been working on a lot of things, and it's been exceptional training with Niall and the team around it. Got some rounds in with some of the Edwards as well in camp, so that's invaluable experience as well throughout this camp. But look, just tonight I have a fight for the night. It was a bit close in changing the opponent, but look, thankfully you got a fight over the line, and yeah, looking forward to fighting.
Yeah, look, we've been speaking, and I know I was the same. You think after this fight it is time to step you up. Obviously, this fight was a step up. The fella that we had here had fought for the WBO and won the WBO Continental titles before. So that was the thing. Unlucky he got stopped last week, and about that he probably shouldn't have stopped him because the guy he was in wasn't a big puncher. So next camp, I think it really needs to be a step up, possibly Celtic title. I think that's where you want to be going at this stage, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think Celtic title next. I'm ready for the 8 rounds. Quite used to 6 rounds now at this stage. Definitely fit enough, strong enough for the 8 rounds. And for a step up on the opponent, I think it's definitely needed.
On that, I'd like to put out there to anyone bantam, super bantamweight in Ireland, we're looking for an opponent for our next event, which is November 29th, for Paul Loonam for a Celtic title. So anybody who wants to step forward in Ireland, Scotland, Wales, or any of the Catalonian countries or part of the French and Basque regions, please reach out to us because we are now looking for Paul's next opponent. Once he does the business on Friday, of course. So that is going out there because we will be looking to fight the winner of Conor Kerr and Ruan Farrell for the Irish title after Christmas.
Thanks,
John Boyd, back again, debut of March, boxed on his own twice, once in Ulster Hall, once in the SSA, and of course here in the warehouse. How do you feel about coming back here?
Yeah, feeling good. Boxing in a big and it's a good experience, but I actually prefer fighting here. The atmosphere is a lot better. Yeah, it's good to be back.
4 rounds inside 6 months. What next?
Wouldn't mind fighting throwing in belts somewhere, to be honest with you. Just whatever comes. I'll just keep training away once the opportunity comes, I'll take it.
Okay, well, Daniel and Sean are fighting for 154 belts, and maybe you can have a chat with the winner of that and see if you can fight the winner of that maybe.
Yeah, well, I'm not overlooking Friday night, but once we get through that, we'll talk.
Yeah, tough opponent. Ratty, you just don't know what to get. You don't know what you get out of him. He's come before, he's took results, and then he's come under nights, and you can kind of, you don't know if it's the home fighters performance or is he having a night off. You just don't know him. So I would say if you tune in to him because with some of these lads as well, they have to get a win every now and again, otherwise they're going to be pulled from them. So you just don't know when that's going to be. So I would say most definitely make sure they're focused. Okay, I'm going to move on to the co-main event now. I'm going to welcome Daniel O'Sullivan here today for the first time on the JB Promotions card. An absolute pleasure to deal with Daniel from start to to finish and his team. No issues, you know, we just reached out to see if there was interest, there was interest. We had a brief chat, myself and Pascal, and the fight was agreed very quick. Any dealings with Daniel in regard to promotional work, you know, to sort out tickets, things like that, everything has been a pleasure. If everyone's like that in Ireland, we'd have a lot more domestic fights and a lot bigger, busier. Seeing Daniel, welcome. Thanks very much. Sean Murray, do you know much about him?
I don't know too much about him. I've seen him for Shane. We watched that fight because I was sparring Shane. He done well in that. And obviously he showed willingness to take domestic fights. So the guy had been from my debut involved in domestic fights. He's not a willingness for it, so you have to admire it.
Definitely from obvious. As I said, there's more people have used the game, would be a lot easier. How's camp going?
The camp's been brilliant. James been buzzing with Craig actually won that. He won that last week, so I've been sparring him for it. Just really looking forward to getting my hands up myself now.
How do you feel the fight goes on Friday? If you can crystal ball it, you're watching the fight now. How does it happen?
Like, look, he comes forward, I come forward. So we're obviously going to meet in the centre of the ring. I hear the atmosphere there is going to be unbelievable. That's going to bring in the best things. The belt on the line, that's also going to bring in the best things. So I just feel like it's going to be a war from first level.
That's obviously music for yours. Yeah. Yeah, that is the music for yours. I think the exact same, but two of us going to go to the middle of the ring and start throwing bombs at it. You asked on day one for domestics from literally day dot. You got your first fight, which was basically domestic Alan White. Second fight Shane Meehan. Third fight was supposed to be Donegan. We won't go back into that. And then in theory you had a third domestic was Kempsky in Belfast. And now your fourth fight is against Daniel. And I think everyone at the table and everyone who knows boxing, he's come with limited background in amateur boxing, come straight into the scene saying I want to fight domestic fights, and on fight 4 he's fighting for the title. I think it shows testament to what you've done from the get-go. How do you feel the fight goes on Friday night?
I feel the exact same as Daniel. I feel that the two of us from the get-go are going to get right to it, and it's going to be a war for the 8 rounds. I'm obviously going to back myself that I win, but I know Daniel's going to have something to say about that. But yeah, I'm obviously going to back myself. I'm going to fight smart and I'm going to come away with that lad in front of me.
I just think the one mistake Sean made a few weeks ago in an interview, he said that he wanted to fight me for the Celtic title and it's something else for the other title. So I feel like that's going to treat me as a bit of a stepping stone. So I feel like I have to come in here and try to improve that and far from a stepping stone.
Yeah, well, I said that I'm always looking forward. I plan Friday night to take the belt home either way. I plan on getting you out of the way and going on to the Irish title, the next belt in the middle, so that's what I'm looking for.
That's fair.
Well done, lads. Any questions for Sean and Daniel before we move on to the main event? Sean feels he just needs to get Daniel out of the way before he goes and fights for Irish title. And Daniel's not happy that he said that, so he's going to get him out of the way and most likely going to go and fight for Irish title. Any questions from anyone in the meeting or anyone in the audience? Jesus, you can't usually shut at me, you know. Name is Hyde, because Johnny's here. Okay, well done, lads.
Daniel, is there extra pressure to keep the belt in the gym after Craig? And how did it come about? Is it the same belt that he...
Yeah, basically what happened there was we had applied for the belt for Sean with Daniel. It was approved, and then they needed a bigger fight on the card on the UCC card, the UFC card. So there was an application made to us if both teams, Donovan and O'Brien, agreed that they could fight for the belt, but they vacated the next day. Would we approve it? And we never stand in the way of anybody fighting for a title or anything like that, so we get full permission. But again, once it was proved that the two boys' fight wasn't disturbed, and that's what happened.
So, Daniel, what's Craig said? You better keep the belt there. And is there any pressure in the gym to keep it now?
No, there's no other pressure, but it's a good bonus. Like, Craig will be my corner for the night. He's been away since the holiday, so he's coming on Friday. He'll present the belt after. Like, Craig had that belt years ago. He won it before. I remember seeing it in his house, and I always said to myself that I'd love one of them, and now to be able to fight for myself and have him in my corner, so it's just stuff of dreams, really.
And Sean, you had a big win here against me, and a great fight. Do you think that coming through a domestic war gives you the edge? Maybe it's, you've been tested at that level, and you came through with a cracking fight, like they say. Do you feel that that's something that you'll be able to offer on the night that maybe Daniel might have?
Yeah, it definitely takes the nerves away from a 50-50 domestic fight, because I've already done one in the second fight, so it's just like another fight now.
Is it a godsend, Jay, having two lads ready and willing to go for titles like that?
Yeah, it's impossible to make these matches.
Everyone says they want to fight everyone, but is it like
Everyone's fight everyone when they're going to an interview. But when the money's put up and the offers are made, they don't take it. We've had this, we've gone around in circles over the last 6 months, especially trying to find senan at the moment. You know what I mean? Like, it's been virtually impossible. We're sending offers over, managers are saying that's a great offer, I can't see it being any problem with that. And then you just, all your arm goes across. You don't see or hear nothing for months, weeks. And that's what happened. We senan testing to him, passed away his Celtic title for Dave Ryan and Tom McGinn to fight for it. And the winner was going to fight with him. Now obviously senan at the time wanted Tony to win because he was an ex-clubmate, but he wanted Dave Ryan to win because then he knew he could set up the fight that he wanted with Dave Ryan. So he passed away his belt for that. Dave Ryan won the fight and then wouldn't fight senan. So I don't see where the fairness of that comes in. He was willing to step aside to allow that. We sent an offer, Ian agreed, thought the offer was a good offer, said there shouldn't be any issue with that. We were trying to do a 5v5 at the time. I sent across 5 potential fights, and the one he swiped on and said that's probably the easiest to make was Dave and senan. Then there was the thing that he couldn't, Fridays didn't suit him. She won his belt here on a Friday. You know? So he was getting paid. And what Ian's words were, that's a good offer. So he didn't need his tickets, he was getting paid. Come fight on his second time here for a second belt. There's no one else giving him the offers. When was the last time he fought Tony McGinn here? When's he fighting next? He's not late. They're willing to say they want to fight, and say they're willing to fight and all this, but they won't do it. And that's the same, I've numbers of people that are saying the same thing at different weights. There's a lot of it. So yeah, credit to both of them. And as I said, Daniel trained to do it. No issues whatsoever. Sean has been Sean since day one, and the same as senan. When the deco fight pulled, straight away, just get me in the point. So it's hard. It's again a lot of pretenders, saying they were willing to fight, you want to fight this, and you want big fights and all that. It's great in the interview saying that, but when the offer comes and the money comes, and they refuse it, it's just a sums of all. Any other questions on the two lads before we move on?
I guess it's remarkable in some ways. Like, it's 3 years ago today, obviously Jimmy Morrissey and Robbie Burke sort of set like a benchmark for these fights to happen earlier. Seems to be they're happening more and more regularly now. But I mean, since then there's been a lot more domestic fights happening since then. So like, it's good to see that fighters are happy to risk the road very early on.
Because it has to be done. Like, you can't win the belts without fighting them. And the days, and to be fair, credit to the BUI, the days of them letting fellas come in that are glorified journeymen for lads to be for titles. Like, if you go back in the history and look at the first two Celtic title fights and the Irish title fights before, when they're bringing in lads in the UK who were glorified journeymen that had a granny that was Irish and things like that, and lads are picking up Irish titles and Celtic titles and things like that, then days are done. And that's good, because it feels that I think there should be value in them belts. The belt should be in something, because there's an awful lot of fighters in Ireland that don't get to get out of Ireland. They don't get to go to the UK and fight for bigger titles or go to America and things like that. So, in theory, probably 90-95% of the boxers in Ireland, this is their bread and butter. That's their world titles. So there should be value in it, But there is a time, again, we said in the first interview, we said in all our press conference that it becomes a time when you do have to step up. You can't just keep going without stepping up. Like, Where's the end goal? It has to be an end goal or a stepping stone, you know.
Where do you see the winner of the co-main event going after Friday night? Like, we're obviously in that sort of, probably potentially defending the Celtic title. Obviously, maybe somebody may not be ready for the Irish title. So where does the winner go in the co-main?
Well, I don't manage that, but I would definitely work with him anytime again. If he was open to working here, he wanted to fight regularly, he's more than welcome on every show. There's no issue with that. So John Boyle's just said he wants to fight for that belt. If one of them win, I don't think we should just make it. Unless there was an agreement that, okay, we'll vacate it, but on the grounds that the people who fight for it, we fight for the Irish title next, because then it opens the door. Like what Senan done, obviously that didn't happen, but, you know, let's say John wanted to fight for it, and whoever wins the fight for it says, well, we'll step aside, or we'll defend against it, but if they want to step aside on the grounds, and we put it in writing that John can fight someone for it, and whoever wins that fight for winner this fight for the Irish title, all of a sudden you've got belts in circulation, and you're starting to bring them all into play, and you'll have a lot more champions. Because if you look at the website, it's not really many champions in the country. I think there's one Irish champion. Is it? One? The uncle from the north of featherweight, is he? Or super Murphy? I think he's the only Irish champion, is he? Johnny, where's Joe?
I think he's the only one.
I think he's the only Irish champion. And we've probably got the most pros that we've had ever. And we won our title, and we could people don't fight the fight. So again, what the lads want to do next, whoever wins that belt, it's up to them. They might want to defend it, and two right, defend it, you don't have to vacate it all the time, defend it. Or if it's an agreement that we could maybe make another fight at the weight and the winner fights for the Irish title. But I'm sure Craig O'Brien wouldn't mind getting his hands on the Irish title again, because he's just won that belt. I don't know if we fight Canada, it would be an awkward one to
Me and Craig are having treacy for that.
So yeah. There's opportunities there, so. And that's on the comment. Okay, we'll move on to the main event. Senan Kelly and Matthew. Obviously, this was originally Senan versus Deco. Senan stepping up from 140 pounds to 147 pounds to fight Deco for the Irish title. Just reasons in Deco's camp he couldn't get, just weight wasn't shifting, and to be fair to him, he pulled the plug early to give us time to try to find a replacement. Senan, a bit of a panic when I ran home, because again, he had invested in the camp, people had invested into him and his camp, and for him then to pull out of the camp, you know, you're going back to sponsors saying, look at that fight's off, so that few ball we get in for camp is actually done, and you're not really getting that out of it. And I could feel it off that he was very worried on the morning I rang him, and he just said, get me at home, we'll see where Dylan Moran's at, something like that. And we did reach out to Neil Power, and Dylan wasn't ready, he wasn't in camp or something like that. And it was just a conversation then, we had a conversation. I had a conversation with Matthew's dad briefly, and I thought he said, listen, I'm not too jump at that fight, I just thought he was kind of joking. And then I was saying to Senan, and Senan said, look, I might be open to taking the fight. So we reached out to Matthew's team, and yeah, there was a little bit of hesitation in regards Matthew's 11 months, it was 10 months as a pro at the time, 9 months as a pro, and just gradually building. Yeah, we did plan on picking up belts, but it wasn't going to be until the early part of next year, and they just came back a bit more later and said, yeah, look, it's a bit earlier than we expected, but we think, you know, opportunities to fight for yours don't come along that often, so yeah, we'd be willing to take it. Again, I think it's testament, he's a young kid, he's had his own issues over the last couple of years where boxing was he couldn't see boxing was gone, and it's back now, and he's, in my opinion, he's probably in the best shape of his career. Going against a man that has said since this time last year he just wanted belts and he wanted big fights, and I feel we've delivered that for him. So I'll hand it over to Senan. Senan, how are you feeling about the whole situation? The Deco pull out, the Dave Ryan situation, and now the fight with Matthew?
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that Deco barely pulling out due to the weight, but he gave us enough time to get the replacement in, so hats off to Matthew for taking the fight on such a short notice. Big respect there. In terms of the whole situation with Dave Ryan, we've been trying to send contracts across, they just haven't been signed. This has been going on since May, so But I don't really feel like waiting around much longer. If he wants to fight, he can fight me, but I'm not going to ask him again. The fight that I do want now is a bit of more fight. I haven't seen him agree. I haven't seen the fight between him and Tom McKenna. I don't think that's agreed yet. Thought it would have been agreed by now, so look, if Tyrone looking for fighting for whatever reason, I'd be more than happy to step in and defend the Irish title after winning on Friday. And take that match out of the way first.
Okay. Matthew Miller usually very quiet, but he's defending that belt against Dylan Moran after he gets his deal on Friday.
Yeah, well, he has to come through me first and he's looking past me. I think he's talking too much about other fights and he hasn't talked about this fight enough. I'm probably tougher than all these lads that they're mentioning, and I'm younger, hungrier, and I'm ready as well.
Yeah, we completely agree. I think out of all the fights you are the toughest. We'll see on Friday.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So you're talking about Dylan Moran. I get that fight with Tyrone. I do believe it's not over the line yet, but it's close. You're saying about the water and defending the title against Dylan? It's an interesting one. I'd rather, the winner of this fight. The winner of the fight originally was to fight Dylan in Waterford. That was basically agreed. That Declan was fighting Senan, and the winner fought Dylan in his homecoming in Waterford in the Senate. I rang Neil to see that Dylan wanted to take this fight when Declan pulled out, and he wasn't ready, he wasn't in camp, he was going back to the camp for his December card. 45 minutes later, Dylan put on Instagram calling out to Tom McKenna for December. In my opinion, why would he not be taking the winner of this fight? Because to me, the Irish title should mean more to you. Tyrone McKenna's a big name, I get that. Possibly a bigger platform for fighting Tyrone McKenna because he has a name, he's been around, and everyone knows Tyrone McKenna. But as a boxer, as a footballer, any sport, when you set out, you want to win, and you want to win accolades. You want something to look back on in time in years to come. So, found it bizarre when someone screenshot the tweet, and I literally just got it home. It's 45 minutes since I got the phone to Neil. Now, that's either Dylan's chasing the lights, and he wants the big man in Waterford, Tyrone McKenna, the big man, or he fears fighting to one of the lads. He doesn't feel he beat it. Because in my opinion, fighting a Tyrone McKenna in Waterford when your national title is on the line is less than fighting for the biggest title you can fight for in your country. That's my opinion. Now again, my opinion isn't facts, but it was very strange. It was a Friday morning, I spoke to Neil. Dylan's not in camp, he's starting camp on Monday, and 45 minutes later it goes out onto Twitter that Dylan's calling out Tyrone McKenna. So read it out what you want. Senan has a plan. I don't think we should look past Friday. I think Friday is, in my opinion, it's a 50-50 fight, bang down the middle. You've experience against youth, you've got a really technical boxer as a kid coming through the ranks. You've got a fella that's been in the title fights. I just think it's made to be a great fight. So I won't be planning on after this. But when this fight's over, the winner of this will sit down and we will see what's next. Because at that stage, you're number one in the world. As in, you've got the Irish title, there's nothing else you can do in Ireland as such. So then it'll be a conversation to have where do we go next. So that's where we're going. Any questions?
I guess if the Dylan Moran fight can happen, obviously both Matthew and Senan have mentioned obviously going back down to 140. Senan's obviously said about becoming a two-weight Irish champion. Is that the sort of plan then for the winner, that the winner and loser obviously will still go down in weight?
Senan's adamant he only come up because he couldn't get an opponent at 140. Obviously the situation with David Ryan and that. Matthew's plan was to just have another step up fight and then maybe early in the year try to get a Celtic title and then middle of the year an Irish title. So to to be honest, with Matthew's age being so young, winning an Irish title at welterweight, and yes, he will go back to 140 because he's not even dieting for this fight. He's walking around eating his full meals and the whole lot. He come in under on his check weights and things, so he is 140, just like Senan is. I think Senan has a bit between his teeth over the whole coming up the weight. He wants to go back and win it at that weight. But I think what Matthew's plan, long-term plan with Matthew was to try to go after maybe a junior world title. But again, he has to come through this one on Friday. So Senan, I know he wants to go back and he wants to get the second weight, but he also wants to go after big fights in the UK. There's been names, I've thrown his name into the hat a couple of times, so like Campbell and people like that. I've reached out to, I'm not just reach out to other opponents and things, and we put his name in the hat for Campbell and we obviously we're looking at that rematch with Jamal Flynn, so it wasn't going to happen at that time, but his name is in the mix there, that's all. Senan wants big fights, so if it means going after a UK name or going and fighting a second time for one of these coming through Friday, that's for sure, that's what he wants. Matthew's plan, if he gets this on Friday, will be again slow down, look where we're at, look at his age, and don't start gearing toward possibly an IBF or an IBO junior world title in the middle of next year. That was on the plan because we actually have a number of lads at the table that are qualifying age limits on that, and that's why we were bringing in some of them opponents with the Indian guys and things like that with the good records, because you need to have 2 or 3 wins against good record and positive records to be able to get that across the line. So we have conversated with the governing bodies. They've given us the criteria that we have to meet, and we're starting to aim towards that. The likes of John Boyd, the likes of Paul, Sean, Matthew, they're all under the age. There's just so many lads that are under the age and they qualify. So let's get Friday out of the way. I think it's 50-50. I can't call the fight. I've been very close to both men. I've trained with 10 or 2 years, we talk regularly. I brought Matthew back from basically out of boxing. I've worked with him day in, day out over the last less than maybe a month or so. 60-pound weight cut to get to this stage. He's been learning on the job along the way, so I'm very close to both. You know, I think it's a fantastic story if Matthew was to do it after the weight cut and where he's been. I think it's a fantastic story. The Senan who came here last year and told us he wants big fights, he wants to start fighting title fights. He has his title. This is what he plans to be in the second title, then he wants to go after more. So I think all around it's a brilliant story this way.
Jay, I guess when you planned, sort of, when you initially set out the plan to do so many shows, did you think within 12 months you would be sitting at a table with an Irish title and a Celtic title fight on the one card?
No.
I guess probably a lot of credit comes down to the fighters are obviously happy to step up early on.
So in terms of their activity, I think we've been very active. I mean, 6 shows in 11 months is a lot of shows. There's nothing we have done that, but it's down to the fighters, and it's down to the volume of fighters that we have, that we can mix and match the shows and things. And we've got our next show date, which is November 29th, which is our last show of the year, and that'll be 7 shows in the 12-month period. So this show is the end of the year one as such, and we go into the next stage of what we're doing. But we did say last year that we wanted to move and we wanted to move fast, and I kind of envisaged this, but did I think it would happen? No, maybe not as quick as it did. But we should have had the Robbie Rourke fight on this, Robbie Rourke and Graham Coleman fight on it as well. That would be 3 domestics. I do think this time next year we could be having cards where there's 4 and 5 domestics on the cards. I think it's needed, and I think we might get more attention, media attention and things like that, because without the likes of boxing tickets, NI, Irish boxing bands, and Kevin Bourne from the Sun, we wouldn't be getting it. I think the Gazette have done a few bits as well over the course of the year, but we've got great supporters in ourselves, and without you, people would be nowhere here, and we can't do without that. We have had conversations with a couple of broadcasts and things that hasn't gone far, but the conversations are still going to be there. So we're just hoping to get there. Plan year one to move out of here, as in fill this, make this like a base where we do 1 or 2 shows, then we go to stadium, and hopefully be big enough to fill the stadium. And in year 3 or 4 that we may have got boys up to certain levels that we could be doing the likes of the 3 ring and things like that. That has to be our goal, and I think we're on course to do that, because we have filled the space boys already this year, and it'll be full on Friday.
can you tell us anything between the spar that happened, that iconic photo where you are posing like that? Can you tell us anything about the spar that happened?
Yeah, his dad took a picture and then he looked bald in it. Look, we had a lot of good sparring over the last while and they've always been really good rounds, so it's going to be a great fight on Friday. One of the fans are really going to enjoy and I'm looking forward to it, yeah.
Is it unusual to be fighting? Are you able to put a number on the amount of rounds you've done together, either Matthew or Senan?
Don't know, Matthew, how many rounds we do? Yeah, second camp up to now, so just under 100 rounds, I say, we go.
It's a lot of time together in the ring, and Jay was saying that both of you feel that not necessarily you won every round, but you largely came off best on both sides. So, Senan, what is it about sparring with Matthew that you felt you were stronger or you came off better?
Just was able to work at a really high pace and I was able to drag Matthew to deep waters and plan on doing that again on Friday.
And same question to yourself, Matthew. Obviously you've done nearly 100 rounds of Senan, now you're going to be fighting smaller gloves, longer duration, 10-round fight. What is it that gives you confidence that you're going to get the better of the contest on Friday?
We just feel like the way we're trying to stay going, I'm going to get better as the rounds go on, and I feel like I'm not just going to last there for, like, people look at me as a young kid in here. I'm 22 now, I'm not a young 16, 17 year old kid anymore. I feel like I'm ready to take this step and I feel like I'm going to be as strong in the 8th, 9th, 10th round as I am in the first.
How do you anticipate winning? Are you looking, why do you think there's a stoppage there for you, or is it just by any means necessary?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how the win comes as long as I win. I don't care if both of our heads are falling off and we still get the win. I'll still take that. Or if I stop him, I'm not expecting that now because Senan's been through everything as a pro and he's tough, so I'll take any win anywhere it comes.
Senan, do you think you can cut him down, or?
Yeah, we'll be looking for a stoppage. We'll be looking for a stoppage around 9 or 10.
I won't be happy.
Is there a bit of hatred between you two now on fight week? Obviously you're both friendly and everything else, and it's about friends afterwards, but it's got to this stage now you have to hate each other.
Look, this is just my job. Like, no matter who I'm getting in the ring with, I wouldn't say like we're best friends around, like, have a drink after a fight, but this is what we do. It's a game of football, now, bat and noise, ping pong, golf. We're athletes, and this is the sport that we fucking have to do, so there's no hatred in it. It's just a job that I'm going to get done on Friday, and I plan on really succeeding and getting over the line.
Yeah, that's it. It's just business at the end of the day. And we just have to put aside what we had before and go for it on Friday, and that's it.
On this fight, we'll stand that fight. Ask yourself, if Matthew loses this fight, does it really set his career back? He's took a fight at an Irish title in less than 3 weeks' notice, at a weight above what he fights. Senan stepped up a weight to fight for an Irish title. If he loses, he fights against a multiple decorated amateur that's gone into the program and has been unblemished along the way. How does the loser of the fight actually lose or go backwards? They don't. Because if Senan loses the fight, he says, we went up a welterweight, fell short, back to 140, and get myself a win, and I get me 140 title. If Matthew loses, probably a step too early, probably shouldn't have took that 2.5 weeks notice, maybe wasn't enough time. So I regroup, back to me 140, and I'll let it go again. I don't see a loser. Does anyone in the audience see a loser for either one of them? Genuinely. I just don't see it.
About 50-50.
I think it's a 50-50 fight. Both of them show he just like getting it home. Opportunities don't come that often. And again, as I said earlier on, you look at the rankings, you look at the holders of the Irish title, there's one Irish champion in the country. So the shows then belts aren't fought for that often. So he did. If he'd seen the opportunity and didn't take it, the chances are he may not get it again, because in 6 months' time when we went looking for his Irish title opponent, we could have been in the exact same position where when Senan was looking for his, that we just couldn't get it. So personally, in my opinion, the people who win on Friday night are the fans, because they get to watch a bang down in the 50-50 fight. And I think these boys will win, because win or lose, both of their stocks are going to rise massively on Friday. Unless one of them goes out and falls over in the first few seconds. But that's not going to happen. I know both of the lads are spark, both of the lads are playing, both of the lads have personally think it's an absolute cracking fight, along with the co-main event, and I think out of both fights, there's no loser. I think both of their careers, if anything, are bigger, win or lose on Friday. That might sound stupid, but I think their careers are bigger because they're known now, and they're out there, you know, so that's my opinion. Any other questions before we wrap up?
Just before I wrap up, I just want to say a big thanks to J-Byrne Promotions and all my sponsors, the Ink Factory, the DPF Centre, League Supplier, the Cleaning Company, K78 Training, the Middle Shop of the League Slip, SRS Alert Fire and Spinwise.
Okay, thanks very much. Just to let everyone know, there is a handful of tickets left, not a massive amount. It is a sellout Friday night. It's like you're down to probably 15, 20 tickets left for Friday night. Doors will open at 5:30. There's 3 amateur bouts on the card, and the pro boxing starts at 6 o'clock, 6:15 delays. So if everyone wants to get ready, anyone who hasn't sent in a media activation, send it in so we can get it approved. And thanks again for everyone coming out and taking the time out of their day.
What about you?
Will be a inconvenient.